Alright, welcome back to another video. This week we got our pivot week, which is just a planned pivot and reset week to get rid of all that fatigue throughout the block, but more importantly to just prevent overreaching and burnout, when you just keep pushing over and over the same thing for a bunch of weeks. Usually for me it's 3 weeks in pivot, but with this is pretty ironic because right now I've been running my block for like 7 weeks straight and I haven't took a pivot, so shout out to Mike. But yeah, that's what it's supposed to help you with. Usually for me, what changes is I would only work out 3 times or 4 times in 1 week versus 5, so the overall volume and frequency decreases. Intensity can decrease, or I'll be in the lower end, but it doesn't always happen like that. But without a doubt, we normally have different exercise and the focus is on technique and leaving the gym feeling good. Sometimes I forget that and beat myself up because I didn't like how the block finished. But yeah, so right now, as you see, I'm doing a bunch of sets with squat, and after this I'm gonna have dips, which I don't usually have in my working blocks, and then I have pendlay rows, which are really good at my torso, like whole trunk stability and torso strength, and just getting really good at stabilizing my hips underneath the bar. So that's what we got. I don't get to play around in that playing that much. From what I can see here, things were moving good that day. What I had issue was my body was kind of windmilling, but I've figured out and solved that issue now, but still had that issue here. Now we got dips. These are hit or miss for some people. Some people, they find that they get a lot of shoulder pain when they're doing dips, but I would try my best to figure out a workaround from these, because these have been a really good exercise. And when it comes down to body weight exercise, I think it sucks for everybody, even if you're lightweight or you're pretty heavy like me in this video. It sucks for everybody. You just gotta adapt and do them. For me, when I'm doing dips, where my hands are placed is very important. I think it's the same thing when you're doing bench. Some people, they place their hands incorrectly. For me, I'm trying to make sure that the bar hits a certain crease. As you can see in that first set, you see my thumb. So my thumb has to line up with the bar and my wrist joint before I push my weight on. Next thing is, when you're doing a tricep loaded movement like dips, you usually want to prioritize load. So you still want to go heavy, but you want to make sure that you're tucking your elbows to the side. So I always think like I'm pinching my back when I'm going down and I'm not flaring. You don't want to flare, because once you start flaring, that's when you're going to feel shoulder issues. It's because you're not in that biomechanical position for your shoulders. So you want to think that you're pulling to your side as you're going down, and you don't want to really prioritize range of motion that much on a tricep dominant movement. It's just load. Now we got the load. Now we got the rows, I should say. We got some warm-ups here. We only got 3 sets, so it's ascending. So these were pretty good. I still use the Vitruve on these because with the Vitruve, there's a certain speed that I want to see the barbell moving. I don't use it to really gauge RPE that accurate, but I could. But if the barbell is moving too slow and then my technique is moving too sloppy, then I'll lower the weight. And it's been pretty helpful on pull downs too. So that's what you see here. But that's it for this video. Hope to see you back on the next pivot, day 2. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.